The movie starts in the 19th century, when England joins worldwide trade. They bring silks and spices from other colonies, but unfortunately they also accidentally bring the zombie virus. Soon, these monsters spread all over the country. Millions of people die and rise again as zombies with a hunger for brains. The healthy citizens begin studying deadly arts from China and Japan. Eventually, the government builds the Grand Barrier, a 100-foot wall surrounding London. Then they add the Royal Canal, a very deep ditch that surrounds both the city and its walls. The land between the wall and the ditch is known as the in-between. In the Second Battle of Kent, one of the bridges across the canal is breached, and the zombies kill all the villagers in the in-between, driving the king mad. After the battle, he orders the destruction of all the bridges except for one. Soon, lords and ladies leave London to live in their own fortified estates. Colonel Darcy visits an estate after hearing someone there was bitten. He uses carrion flies to detect zombies and exposes an infected guest, killing him on the spot. The estate owner denies more infections, but her daughter finds a girl upstairs who has already turned and attacks her. Meanwhile, Mr. Bennet trains his 5 daughters to fight zombies, though Mrs. Bennet just wants them to find husbands. The family goes to a dance, where Jane catches Bingley's eye. Darcy insults Elizabeth, who overhears and is hurt. Outside, she's nearly attacked by a zombie, but is saved when Darcy shoots it. During a sudden zombie attack, the Bennet sisters fight bravely, impressing everyone, including Darcy. Later, Jane visits Bingley's home but gets attacked on the way by zombies. She kills one but falls ill from the rain. Elizabeth visits her and clashes with Darcy when he suspects Jane is infected. Flies prove she's fine, and Elizabeth mocks Darcy. Tensions rise between Elizabeth and Darcy, especially after he sees her watching him train. Bingley wants the sisters to stay, but Darcy warns of infection. Mrs. Bennet convinces Bingley to throw a ball. On the way home, the Bennets discover that a nearby orphanage has fallen. Zombie children now roam the woods. Sometime later, Mr. Bennet introduces his family to cousin Collins, who will inherit the estate when Bennet passes because women can't be heirs. During lunch, Collins tells them that his patroness is Lady Catherine, an amazing swordswoman who did wonders during the zombie war. He also shows interest in Jane. However, Mrs. Bennet immediately turns him down, saying Jane already has Bingley and offers Elizabeth instead. On the way to visit their aunt, Collins and the sisters find a fallen carriage and a woman who screams for help. They discover she's a zombie, and Jane finishes her off by kicking her down the hill. Elizabeth struggles carrying all the weapons, but Collins doesn't help. In town, new soldiers are stationed for protection. Elizabeth meets Lieutenant Wickham and they quickly get along, which makes Darcy jealous. At the ball that night, Jane dances with Bingley while Elizabeth tries to talk to Wickham. Collins drags Elizabeth into dancing, ruining her chance to dance with Darcy. Later, Elizabeth and Bingley hear a noise and find a servant attacked by a zombie. They fight it off but discover zombie orphans hiding in the building. Darcy arrives, defeats the zombies quickly, and checks on Bingley. Elizabeth praises Darcy's fighting skills but calls him a bad friend. The next day, Jane receives a letter from Bingley saying he's moving to London and courting Darcy's sister. During lunch, Collins proposes to Elizabeth, asking her to give up her weapons and stop fighting zombies. She refuses and goes outside to train and burn off frustration. Her mother scolds her for turning down such an important proposal, but her father respects her decision. Elizabeth hugs her dad to thank him, but her mother keeps nagging, so she runs into the woods to find peace. In the forest, Elizabeth notices birds flying above 4 men wearing top hats. She is then approached by Wickham, and when she turns around, the men are gone. Wickham says he didn't see anything and invites her to a special place. Elizabeth and Wickham go to a church where a priest is feeding pigs' brains to zombies. Wickham explains that as long as zombies don't eat human brains, they don't fully turn. He believes this could bring peace, but says the war has left him without support. Later, Elizabeth visits her friend, who is engaged to Collins, and goes with her to meet his family. At the estate, Elizabeth sees paintings of Catherine slaying demons and the 4 horsemen of the zombie apocalypse, who she realizes are the men she saw in the woods. She meets Catherine, her daughter, and Catherine's nephew, Darcy. Wickham arrives to ask for money, but Catherine mocks the idea of peace with zombies, and Darcy sides with her. When Wickham angers him, Darcy has him thrown out. Elizabeth insults Darcy, and that night he trains furiously. Unable to sleep, Elizabeth walks in the garden and finds Wickham. He tells her that Darcy made Bingley leave Jane, claiming Jane was only after money. Wickham asks her to run away with him, but she refuses. The next day, Darcy confesses he's attracted to Elizabeth but calls her beneath him. He proposes, and she angrily rejects him. Their fight turns physical, ending in a heated battle before Darcy storms off. Later, Darcy sends Elizabeth a letter. He explains that he only separated Jane and Bingley to protect Bingley, and that Wickham has lied about him. Darcy says he gave Wickham money, but refused when he demanded more, and that Wickham even tried to marry Darcy's young sister for her fortune. Darcy tells Elizabeth he's going to London to fight the zombie outbreak, suspecting someone is controlling the horde. Meanwhile, Elizabeth learns Wickham ran off with her sister Lydia and likely took her to the zombie church. That night, Lady Catherine warns Elizabeth that Darcy will marry her daughter, unless Elizabeth marries him first. Still unsure about love, Elizabeth is challenged to a duel by Catherine's guard. Though overpowered, she fights fiercely and wins. Catherine respects her bravery and offers to protect the Bennet family so Jane and Elizabeth can rescue Lydia. The sisters reach a bridge guarded by soldiers planning to blow it up at dawn to stop the zombies. Ignoring the warning, they move forward. On the battlefield, Jane saves Bingley from a zombie, and Elizabeth saves Darcy from a surprise attack in a graveyard. She tells him about Lydia, but Darcy lies and says the church was destroyed, hoping to keep her safe. Darcy secretly heads to the church and finds Lydia chained up. He discovers Wickham plans to lead a zombie army. Wickham refuses to trade Lydia and shoots at Darcy, alerting the zombies. Darcy rescues Lydia while his horse helps him escape. He sends Lydia to the bridge and stays to fight Wickham. Elizabeth realizes Darcy lied and races to the church. Meanwhile, Darcy duels Wickham, who reveals he's been undead and is now the Antichrist. As Wickham nearly kills Darcy, Elizabeth arrives just in time to save him. The two escape on horseback with zombies chasing them. They reach the bridge as it explodes behind them. The sisters believe Elizabeth died in the blast. But when the smoke goes away, Elizabeth is crawling on the broken ground. She finds Darcy unconscious nearby. She cries, kisses him, and says she loves him. A few days later, Bingley asks Jane to marry him, and she says yes. Darcy wakes up from his coma and tells Elizabeth he heard her on the bridge. He asks her to marry him, and she says yes. They kiss. Both couples get married together, and Collins leads the ceremony. Everyone is happy until they see Wickham coming with a zombie horde. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.